Hi, it's Annabelle. We'll give you a few minutes to check in and log in. And we're here at Oakland Tree Farm today. All right, so I just want to remind everyone that's watching, if you have any questions at any time, go ahead and type them into the comments. We're here live at Oakland Tree Farm over in Oakland, Oregon with owner Kim, and she's going to tell us about the farm and the industry of Christmas trees and a whole bunch of other good stuff today.
We're going to try.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
So can you tell us a little bit about the tree farm itself here? We're standing, you can see there's a lot of trees we'll walk around and see soon, but how did you get started here? How long have you been here?
So the farm has actually been a tree farm for probably over 40 years, and we bought the farm 26 years ago.
Okay.
And we ended up with a Christmas tree farm because my husband is a forester. And so we already had a tree farm started, but we were taking all of our trees to Las Vegas. And then we started a family, so we needed something local, so we weren't pulling our kids out of school. Mm-hmm. So this farm was for sale, and so we took it, and I've been going at it ever since. So it's we live on 45 acres, and about 25 acres is in Christmas trees.
Wow. And was it Christmas trees when you bought it?
It was.
So
it was already an established tree farm. The gentleman who owned it was getting older, and so for probably about 5 years, he kind of had let it go as far as like not planting every year and things. So it took a few years to get it all back and staged. You know, we try to keep it so we always have trees growing at different stages.
Okay. And if we look out at the fields, I think we can see that happening right here, right? With
right.
The smaller trees.
So some fields, like this field over here, we only had a few trees left in it. So we completely cleared it out. And then we ripped the ground. So we had a big machine come in and stir it all up and then plant it all seedlings. So that's why this area, you can see, all has about the same size trees. Mm-hmm. In fields like this, we always go through, and when trees are gone, but there's still a lot of trees growing, we interplant. Okay. So we'll go through and right next to where the stump is, that the other tree came out, we'll try to plant a new seedling right there. Oh, cool. And in the farm, a lot of Christmas tree farms, you're going to see all ducks and all grands. All noble or whatever that farm grows. And we wanted it to be more like a forest when you're walking through. So we interplant everything. So when somebody comes and they're like, well, I want a Doug fir, it's like, well, you just have to go out and look, because there's the Dougs, the Grands, Blue Spruce, Nordmans, Nobles, Concolors, all mixed in together.
It's really interesting.
Yeah. And I think people like it like that. So.
Yeah, I love looking at it.
Yeah.
Well, let's walk up and take a closer look at some of the trees. How long about does it take for a tree to grow to the 6-foot size here?
So it does depend on the kind of tree. Douglas and Grands grow faster. And so they're ready about 5 to 6 years to get like a 6-foot tree. Your Noble and your Nordman take about 7 years to get to that. Wow. So a tree grows almost a foot a year.
Huh. That's really interesting. Yeah. And how, I'm interested too in the pruning process. So do you do that every spring and kind of keep their shape? Or
yeah.
How much hands-on care?
So I'll tell you what, the forester or whoever has the tree farm has a project going all year round. So in January and February, we're planting the trees.
Okay.
And then in the spring, we do a lot of spraying for the grasses so they're not competing with the new seedlings. Mm-hmm. So that's going on. And then as soon as that's done, we usually are putting handles on trees, and we're one of the few farms that still does that. And I'll show you what that is. So when you get the tree, you want it to have a nice stump to put the sand in. So what we do is, like this is a little prong color, we take it over and we cut all these bottom branches. We try to cut about 1.5 feet or 2 feet of the bottom branches, so that when you get this tree grows up, it has this really nice stump, so that you're not fighting to get it out. And when you don't do that, you might cut a tree that you think is really pretty, and then you had to cut off those branches, and then all at once maybe you have a huge hole here because that branch went all the way up into it. Okay. So that's called handling. And then
I've noticed sometimes too that the trees that you'll get have extra branches you can tell are cut off, so they don't actually fit in the stand. Yeah. So that would prevent them from growing low.
Right. It just helps them. It does help some. We still clean up a lot of times a little bit higher for people, but it does give it a good start. And then in the summer, after they've budded out and had their new growth for the year, then we go through and it's called topping them. So we'll top the tree, and what that does is instead of it using all of its energy to grow up, it's going to get fuller. Okay. So for a Christmas tree, you want that fullness in the tree. So we top. And then certain, we just let go. So like the Douglas, the Grands are two of the main trees that are sheared each year. And then the others are pruned. We just take our clippers and just clean them up a little bit.
Yeah. And how many, do you have staff that you bring in to do that? Or is it
we do have, we have a couple of people that usually help plant. In January and February, except Phil does almost all of it, and there's about 10,000 that we plant each year.
Wow.
And then we do have some Hispanic people who come in and help us shear. Okay. That's all they do. I mean, they travel like all of Washington and Oregon, and I think we've had the same group for 20-some years that comes in, and they usually do it all in a weekend. Wow. And it's kind of interesting. Phil he has a machine, a Beneke, and he walks around with it. But they have knives, and it's just amazing to hear them out here. And they're so fast. They just do this, and it's done.
That's really interesting. And how many people are on that crew?
Only like 5.
Okay.
Yeah. But they just travel around, and so we grab them usually about the 1st of September, because you also want the tree to reharden.
To heal over.
Yeah. So you like to do that in September, and then October comes and we are getting ready for our harvest. So we are out marking our trees that we're going to bring here from our other farm. We're marking trees. We do just a small amount of wholesale, so we're marking those trees for people. And then it's mid-November, and you start cutting.
And you open December 1st?
And we always open the day after Thanksgiving.
The day after Thanksgiving.
That's always when opening day is.
So we're right in the middle of the season then.
Yeah.
Start seeing more customers.
Yes. Yeah, it was a crazy weekend. You guys wouldn't even recognize this place.
Lots of traffic.
Yes. Yeah.
Well, we're live here today also to talk to our high school students. And so if you have high schoolers that are interested in agriculture or tree farming, you had mentioned your husband has a degree in forestry.
Right.
And did you do any type of certification in that sense, or where is your background in?
My background is in health education.
In health education? Okay.
I just married a forester. So it's just over time I've been my work experience. Yeah.
Well, are there any classes that you could recommend if they're interested in going into this type of field that they pay extra attention to? Or
well, I think business is good, because you do need to have a business sense. Mm-hmm. And I think any of the ag classes are really good. The
Future
FFA, yep.
Farmers?
Yep.
Okay.
Is that FFA?
Future Farmers of America,
Yeah.
FFA. Yep.
FFA, That is a great one to be in because like we have two high school kids that are working it right now, and I went through to show them trees. They knew all the trees except the con color. They,
That's so cool.
you know, so it was great. Yeah, they already had that experience. So.
Well, I know you have some other stuff that you do here too, so we'll walk up towards the barn, I believe, and then maybe learn more about the high school too. You already have a tree in your house decorated?
We do not.
You don't yet?
We are like, usually around the 15, 16, 15 pounds. We always had a joke when we were in the house with our kids were little. They would get so upset that we would get a tree from the lot and drag it home. It's our tree, and I was like, oh, great. Right? You know, when the kids were little, they all each year, one of them got to choose. And now we don't. We just kind of like, okay, that's a good one. That's great. Once in a while, Phil and I will drive around. So we just up here. A few years ago, local photographer, Chinnick, and she's FFA for Rosebrook High School. She was a photographer, and she said, and you can do something with photography. So we set up this little area, and on the weekend, I have a local photographer that comes and takes pictures.
Nice.
And then we just keep it set up so during the week people can come do their own thing.
Photo booth.
Yeah.
Well, that's really cool. And has that changed much with traffic? I know we're right in the middle of a pandemic, so with COVID,
Yeah.
Has that changed business at all here?
It really hasn't. We were really nervous this weekend, and everything went really well. You know, we were wearing our mask, and it's kind of easy to keep distance.
Mm-hmm.
So
you definitely have the space.
Yeah, so people were real respectful of it. We did have Santa, and he stood in the back, and then they had their pictures. So yeah, it worked out. Yeah, people were super thrilled that there was a Santa. So.
Yes, I would be.
It's kind of cool.
This weekend, so. And the photography is something you have to do.
We did. Yeah, so we had Angela did it for a couple of years, and then she got her teaching degree, so I asked her and just picked up a couple of other local photographers, and so they just really their own little thing. Very handy. Diversify your The other thing with COVID this year is we have always done hot cider and hot chocolate. And we just felt like this year, that was one thing we just
couldn't do. Yeah, that'd be a lot of extra.
Which people have been really real understanding. So good. Yeah. So up here, one of the things that we do that I believe we're about the only ones that do now, even as far as Eugene, is we block trees. And so Phil's always, my husband's always been the one that blocks, and it's just another really good way to add sell, because your block is $5 to $7 a foot extra on the tree. So it's very popular.
Like a dry, spongy feeling.
Yeah, yeah. It's actually
it's a spray.
Block is it's a powder. You wet the tree, and then it's a real light powder that goes on the tree, and it's a fire retardant. So businesses, that's why you'll usually see a business with a block tree, is because it's a fire retardant. Yeah.
Should we, so he's trimming a tree right over there. We can go see what it is.
So sell that tree now.
Oh, it's a Baler. Is that how you fit them in the cars?
Yeah. We always let people have an option. Some people don't want their tree baler. A tag, a tree, we give everybody a tree tag when they come to go down to the U-Cut, and that's just so we don't mess these trees up. You know, like, you did all the hard work and found the trees, so we have the tree tag because, like I said, on the weekends when it's so busy, we might have 12 trees lined up right here, so we know which tree belongs to who.
So they go down and they find their tree and mark it, and then come up and tell you.
They can cut their own
they cut
tree.
their own
We
down.
have saws, so they cut their tree and then we pick it up for them, bring it up here, put it on the tree shaker, shake out everything that they don't want to take home with them, and bale it if they'd like it to be baled.
That is so great.
Yeah.
So this is called an actual tree baler
Tree baler
and a tree shaker.
and a tree shaker. Yeah. And we have it set up where we have it over here for the U-Cut, and then over here for we also offer the Precut. So Precut off. We're all doing
Are these ones that you bought from your other farm?
Yes. Yeah, we don't cut it. All the pre-cut come from the other farm. We don't take any off of this farm because we want to save everything we have here for the
Which is good because you have some variety here, so they can still choose.
Yeah. And then we said that's where have all of these trees, and then on the weekends we're running a booth here too.
Okay.
And that's kind of
Another
new this
checkout?
year. Another, COVID-19 to spread people out better. Yeah. Yeah, and we have another baler here. And on this setup, we have a shaker on the back. There's a tree shaker right here. So we can shake it and bale it.
All in one.
All in one. Yeah.
Great.
So it's really good.
So on the weekends, how many staff do you have working with you then? If you have
We have about 15.
15.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
And
so
is
we
there any-
have, we probably have about 3 up here that are helping with the pre-cut, and then somebody at the station.
Mm-hmm.
I have usually 5 to 6 making wreaths, and then 2 over at that U-Cut, and then at least 2 guys are driving the 4-wheelers, picking up the trees, and then over at the U-Cut part, because it's so busy, we usually have about 3 that are working the trees that are working the trees.
That's quite the staff.
It's quite sad, and I feed all of them.
And you see them. That's a great place to work.
We decided, oh my gosh, we decided a long time ago, boys don't make lunches. So, you found them crashing about 2, that they were tired. So we thought, okay, we'll just bring the food.
And what are the qualifications to work here on your seasonal staff?
We hard worker, somebody who wants to learn how to manage all of the different trees and strong, because these bigger trees,
Gotta work with your hands.
a lot of hand work, and then also you have to be really careful because with the machinery and everything, you have to be comfortable around it and careful with it.
Yeah.
So
Do you have special insurance that you have to carry because of the machines?
we do carry a special tree insurance for everybody that also comes onto the farm too.
Okay, because they're self-cutting. So
Right.
sawing.
A lot of people want to bring chainsaws, and that's against our insurance. So no, it's only a handsaw.
So it's just a handsaw. Okay.
Yeah, but our the guys that are going down on the 4-wheelers, they do have a saw. They can have one. So if somebody can't,
Can't
an
quite
elderly
get it,
couple or
yes.
something, and they don't want to cut her, or a mom's come with their kids, and she's just like, she's like, it's hard.
Yeah.
It's really hard. I've tried a few times. It is not an easy thing. So, so we do it that way.
So what kind of tree is this one?
That's a noble fir. Yeah. And this
Yeah,
is
this
guy's a Norden. So our noble grow really well on our other ground, not so well here. The Nordman grow really well on both. And so a lot of people that want to do the recut here, they'll pick a Nordman because it's not good.
And Oakland Tree Farm has a really great website too if you're interested in learning more about the different kinds of trees that they have. She has really great pictures on there with all the descriptions of the different types of trees that they carry. So I researched. It was fun.
Thank you.
So we have a few more minutes. Do you want to? Is there anything else you think
I'll show you the wreaths because that's another big part of our business. We do probably between 350 and 500 wreaths a year. We do a couple of fundraisers, and then we do the we call it the wall. So we have wreaths for people to buy that we put on the wall. And so I also have a few customers that we do custom wreaths and send out, mail out for them.
Oh, for the families.
Yeah. So we have, we start with, we bring in mainly our noble and our Nordman. And these are trees that weren't pretty Christmas trees. So we call them coals.
Mm-hmm.
So we use those greens to make our wreaths. And come in here, I'll show you the elk workshop.
Right in the back of the truck.
So this is our little Santa's workshop. And what we do is we have our wreaths have these rings.
Smells really good in
And
here.
it smells good. We have the ring, and then the machine has a clamp. So we put the greens on, and then it clamps shut. So this is like all the wreath making. And then back here is where all the decorating happens. And then I also have in the back a wreath storing room. So keep all of our different special orders and fundraisers.
See that? It feels really sturdy too.
Yeah.
I know it's not going to fall apart on you.
That's what you gotta do. You gotta have the shake test. Emily's worried. I'm not solid. I'm not worried.
That's gorgeous.
So we have 3 wreath tables, so we can have 3 people making wreaths, and a lot of times that's exactly what we're doing. We have 3 making wreaths, and then have 1 or 2 cutting out there, kind of as they're ringing up cells. They can turn around and cut for us. So. Yeah.
Alright.
Any other questions?
I think we're good. Do you have any questions? Edwin's behind the camera,
yeah.
by the way.
I know you do a lot in the community with like high school students.
Mm-hmm.
So you mentioned last time we met that you worked with the football team.
Mm-hmm.
Can you elaborate on that?
Yeah. So in the past, when we had more wholesale accounts, working with Oakland High School, we could get like the football team to help us load, and we just donate to the football team, or the basketball team, or the wrestling team. You know, I kind of just work with Jeff Clark to see who we could get. And then a lot of our fundraising wreaths, which a huge one this year was Oakland High School Band. Mm-hmm. We did like 148 wreaths for them. So it was a bigger order than I ever planned. But he hustled and got it, so that's going to help them out huge.
Yeah.
that kind of sell.
And if there's another group maybe next year that was interested, how far in advance should they ask about those?
Probably, yeah, if just one of the teachers contacted us like 1st of November and we were
Not too far in
getting,
advance.
yeah, no, because we kind of, it takes you that long to know how your trees grew that year, so you know what extra supply you have. So in October is when we're out looking to see, do we have any surplus this year? Yeah, and same thing with students who are looking for jobs. If they would call me like about the end of October, it's a really good time so that I can start lining up people. Because the Wreath, the other part we do too is I have a lot of the high school students that'll cut for me. And then all of these have to have a bow on them, and they have cones. So having the kids help me get these bowed, helping me wire the cones. Sometimes there's 2 people that are doing nothing but wiring cones.
Wow.
So, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So, always calling me. And we have, I think it's always kind of great, and I think it speaks to how people love the farm is a lot of times once they're working here, they're coming back every year, which is great. Yeah, so we have, this year probably of the 15, I think, Emily, are you the only new one?
Yeah, I think so.
I think so.
And
yeah,
do you like working here?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a fun place to work.
So it is a lot of return, but of course they get older and they probably have to have little jobs anyway. So well, that's not true. Lincoln and Lucas will be new this year too. So those are the 2 new ones that I was telling you that have come, and they are such great workers. They will be back. We'll make sure that they're back next year, and probably, hopefully, a lot of times we get them from high school through college. So it makes it awesome for us too. Once you're trained, you know exactly what to do. So, but they've come in and they have shown that they really want to learn how to work all the equipment. They're hustlers. The one thing I absolutely love if anybody was working here is if they have some downtime, that they're picking up a broom and they're cleaning, or they're asking me, what else can I do? They're out here and they're restocking the wood. You know, they're looking for jobs. They're not standing there looking at their phone or twiddling their thumbs. They're just hustling all the time. And there's always something to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And when they're applying, do you have a standard application that you use? Do they do resumes? Or
Yeah, just usually come in,
Okay, face to face.
face to face and get to know you. Yeah.
Perfect. Well, we are partnered with Oakland Tree Farm for Recruit Hippo. So if you want more information on them or next season you're looking for a job, you can always reach out to us on our talent advisors, and that's at recruithippo.com. And also, if you have any follow-up questions, feel free to private message us or send an email out. And we would love to help you hone in your skills and decide what options you want to pursue in your future after graduation. So thank you, Kim, so much
You're
for
welcome.
today.
Thank you for coming out.
Yeah, it's been wonderful.
Good.
Take care. Bye.
Bye.